Alo, 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 alo. Là khu quạt điện chưa tỉnh á. Alo, 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 alo. Bây giờ sẵn sàng chưa? Phải tất nhiên lấy không nào. Là khu điện đó này. Đó đi nữa. Là khu điện đó này. À, mới chặt đó. Zoom này bộc lực quạt điện nữa. Điện này chẳng mình slide đó người ta. Hai này. Bà. Ok, chẳng còn nữa.
Hả? Để trong hay để trong? Để cho đi các bạn đấy. Poster, poster. Hả? Các bạn mà phát ok không?
Okay, good afternoon. Yes, a bit late. Just finished the meeting. That's a bit of traffic to come here. Okay, but today we leave a little bit early because the, I know you will be happy after I announce. Yes, but not that early, like 5 minutes before our normal class. Okay, because someone need class after that, so they need to prepare before 6 p.m. We are here. Okay, yeah, from from our last class, we are talking about salary subject to tax, some income for employee that is not subject to tax. We are talking about salary is not subject to tax for some people who work in some organizations. Some employee and officer work in diplomatics, missions that hold official or diplomatic passports. They all exempted. And employee work for international organizations or a government agency also be exempted if he hold a position as foreign representative or maybe agency of technical or a technical persons. And at the same time, we also get exemption for people work in technical assistant projects. Yeah, we are talking about it. You see a lot of red, circle. Maybe, if you work in that positions, it means you are exempted. But if you are just work as a normal employee, administrative, work, or maybe clerical work or accountants position, then you are not exempted. But those people exempted must be approved by the Ministry of Economy and Finance. Okay, but now we also talk about a person who actually work in this organization, but work as a contractor of international organization or agency of technical cooperation. So it means what happened? Okay. What does it mean? It means an employee work in a contractor or maybe a supplier, you know, some will say a vendors of international organization or a agency of technical cooperations. So those international organization, those agency of technical cooperation, they get a projects they don't want to do by themselves, by their own employee. They hire a contractor or a third party to provide the service to them, or maybe provide a, you know, maybe some sort of you know, goods to them. So if you in the position that's providing a technical advice to those projects, the projects that owned by international organizations, of course, the employee of that contractors also be exempted from tax on salary. So yeah, but you need to, that's employee or of that contractor who works as a technical assistant, you know, also be exempted from tax on salary. So it doesn't, so it means if a person involved with technical assistant, a, you know, kinds of a person who work in a specific area where the project see that he is contribute a lot to that project, then he also be exempted, not just an employee of the international organization, but also, you know, apply on the employee of the contractors to support the projects. Yeah, so that's, you know, those the people who are exempted from tax on salary. But the other government officers, you know, other employee work in non-profit organizations, companies, all subject to tax on salary. But beside all of these people, you know, in general, who also exempted from tax on salary? We discussed, I think last week, yeah. Remember who employees and employers, you know, the definition of employees. Do you still remember what is employee is? What is employees? Yes, of course. It's in your books. Yeah, go ahead.
Or director of an enterprise, any governmental officer, any elected official, except for members of parliament or secretary.
Yeah, almost everyone, you know, except the parliament members and Senate members of the Senate. Okay, so government officer also include other people work in the private sector, non-profit organization are subject to tax. Okay, I mean almost everything. So in Cambodia, we only have tax on salary applying on you know, a physical person who actually earn monies in Cambodia. Okay, do you have a question? I'm talking about you, Sripik. Yeah, no? Okay, I see you. Okay, if not, then I move on. Yeah, it just condition with respect to the contractors, what they have to prepare to get the exemption of their employees. So they need to prepare some sort of paperwork to show that his employee actually work for that technical assistant projects. Yeah, how many hours a day? 3 hours, 4 hours, or 8 hours a day. So if you work 8 hours a day, then we have to prepare a time sheet for them, to justify how many hours he works, so that the exemption can apply based on a numbers of hours he works for that project. Okay. So this is just some sort of a paperwork. So just remember that you get exemption, yes, but you need to do something. The exemption will not come out without a justification, because we are accountants. Okay, we are talking about income subject to tax on salary. We're talking about employee, employers, the condition to become, what constituted as the employee-employer relationship. That 4 conditions. And then we're talking about income that is exempt, the person who can be exempted from tax on salary. And now we learn how to calculate tax on salary. Okay. Because if you are exempted, fine, no problem. Don't need to bother anything because there's no tax to be paid. But if you are not exempted, then you must pay tax. Okay. So before we compute tax on salary, we have to know what kinds of salary we need to include to compute tax on salary. Okay. So it is your monthly taxable salary, of a resident. We are talking about resident employee first. So if you are a resident employee, you have to include your monthly taxable salary for tax on salary computations. Okay, first one, you accounted for salary received from Cambodian source incomes. And next, you think about whether you receive a foreign source income or not. If yes, also include. Yeah, as we already discussed last week, that resident employee is subject to worldwide income, which means the income you earn from work you perform in Cambodia and the income from salary of the work you perform outside Cambodia. Okay, you have to include both sources, and you have to think about advance money, salary advance. Yeah, many company doing that. My company also do the same. Yeah, because we see the needs of an agency, of an employee. Sometimes, they just need certain amount of money to resolve or some problems in their families or something like that. So we provide them in salary advance. Loans, provide employee a loan. Not many companies doing that, but yes, some will do. Or any kind of installments payment. Installment payment here, we are talking about probably, employer promise to provide certain incentive to employee on top of their monthly salary. But employer doesn't have enough cash to pay at one time. And then they promise, oh, I will pay you installment for the next 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. Yeah, it depends on how big is it. So yeah, if the employer promised to pay like that, this is the income that is subject to tax on salary. Okay. But do you think that it is fair to you? To me, it's not. Yeah, salary advance is not joint income, because if salary advance is something employee have to pay back to employers. A loan, of course, if we're talking about loans, loan is not income. Loan is, the money you borrow from someone and you promise to pay back to them. Because we're talking about incomes. But why the law say salary advance, loans also considered as a taxable salary. This is something I really disagree with this law. Yeah, but when you do exam, you cannot say I don't agree with this kind of condition. You must write down whatever the law require you to actually follow. But I can tell you this kind of loan is very rare. But salary advance is quite common. Almost every company doing that. Sometimes employee required to to get a salary advance like 3 months, or something like that. So yeah, but in practice, not many company doing that. They will not include salary advance as part of the taxable salary computations, including my firms. So, and also I see in practice, the tax officer, they don't really, question about it. They don't really take it seriously about the salary advance or this kind of thing. Okay, but the law say that. Okay, so if in case, just based on this example, if you receive a salary from Cambodian source 1,000 at the same month, you also receive, let's say this is July 24, and from foreign source, another 500. Of course, you need some cash to pay something. Probably your wife or my husband, get sick, and you don't have money to pay for medical expenses. And then you say, oh yes, please, get me the salary advance of $3,000. Okay, I promise to pay you back in the next 3 months. You can deduct from my salary, from August, September, and October. Okay. So how much is taxable salary for July in this case? Yeah, $4,500. Okay. Okay, let's say he promised for the 3,000 salary advance, he promised with the companies that, based on his salary total from all source $1,000, $1,500 a month. And then he said, you deduct from my salary $500 every month from August onward until it's pay off. Okay, so then the 3,000 total advance. So if the deduction is about $500 a month, so he need to the salary reduction will last for how many months? 6 months, right? Yeah, will last for 6 months. Okay, let's say now with July, here's August. Okay, so based on contract, they will still get 1,000 from Cambodian source, 500 from foreign source. Okay, no salary advance. But for salary advance at this time will be negative because he said that he want to repay the companies $500 a month. So how much is his August salary? Taxable monthly taxable salary. So how much is monthly taxable salary in August 2024? $1,500 or 1,000? How much is monthly taxable salary in this scenario? So how much are you going to get in August in cash? 1,000. Yep. So his monthly taxable salary is 1,000. Okay. Tax on salary is a cash basis tax. So they only tax when the company get an actual cash during that month. So as you can see, July 2024, he got a cash in hand for 4,500. So we have to pay tax on his 4,500 income based on tax law, but his actual income only 1,500. The other 3,000 come from his loan basically. But the taxman under this law saying that, no, we don't care what you call, as long as an employee receive a cash in hand 4,500, you have to pay tax based on 4,500. Okay, next month, Now he only get 1,000. Fine, no problem. You can, your taxable salary only $1,000. Okay, you will calculate based on $1,000 only. Yeah. And September, he also followed the same rule, $1,000 salary, 1,500, they agree salary each month, deduct 500, repayment of the salary advance. The balance of 1,000 will be taxable in September, if, for the next 6 months. Okay, so this is, we call monthly taxable salary. Monthly taxable salary is mean the salary that is subject to tax on salary. Okay, but monthly taxable salary, it doesn't mean that this is a base or amount that we use to calculate tax on salary. Okay, look it further. Yeah, of course, sometimes you can call monthly taxable salary, or we call gross salary. Gross salary, like gross income, gross salary or gross income. Gross income, it means incomes that not that pay tax. Okay, in order to calculate tax on salary, we take into account monthly taxable salary at the first stage. First stage, we trying to identify how much the taxable salary is. Next step, we are talking about we call rebate or deductions. Which means the amounts of, there's some sort of, under the tax law, there's certain amounts that you can deduct from a gross salary, the gross salary, which means the amount that tax say, one employee, probably you can get an exemption on that amount. So you call rebate or you call deductions. Okay, based on the evidence, family situations, any resident employee, okay, is allowed with a deduction of 150,000 Khmer Rial for minor dependent children per children. If you have 3 children, dependent 3 children, you multiply by 3, then you get 450,000 deduction. This is in Khmer Rial. Or spouse as a housework, your housewife, or spouse doesn't have a job, stay at home, So you can also claim a deduction of another 150,000. So in total, if you have 3 children, dependent children, plus 1 spouse that doesn't have a job, then your deduction is up to 600,000 Rial. Yeah. So you can claim a deduction or claim as a rebate. Okay, but talking about minor dependent children, we are talking about, it doesn't mean that you have children which has no families, has no job, always called dependent children. So under tax law, they define dependent children based on age. Okay, if your children age up to 14 years, 14 years old, it doesn't matter they study or not study in the school, and the tax law called minor children. So the deduction of 150,000 per children apply. So what you need to show to them is that birth certificate. That's it, to show that, okay, my children is, only 14, only 13, only 12. But if from 14 up to 25 years old, then you need to show them that your children studying, your children is studying at a recognized school. It means the school that got a license from the country, from Cambodia. Sorry, from the government. So the ministry that control all school, mostly Ministry of Education, but some school, vocational training school, controlled by Ministry of Labor. But for general education like this, kindergarten up to university, or beyond that is controlled by Ministry of Education. Okay, so you have to show that your children is studying. Okay. So, but that's for we call minor children. But after 25, okay, it doesn't matter you study or not study. You are mature, cannot be minor or dependent children anymore. Okay, even though you actually still ask for help from parents, sometimes some children. But for spouse, it doesn't have a job, then yeah, you need to show them marriage certificate. Say, oh yeah, this is really my wife or my husband's. So then you can claim as a deduction. Okay, so if both parents' salary are taxable, minor children are allowed to be deducted from only one of them. Yeah. So they say that if husband and wife all work, so if you have 3 children, you have to decide deduct from the wife or deduct from the husbands. So you can choose one deduction. You cannot claim for both. If wife and husband all work. Okay. You want to scare me? Okay. Yeah. So I repeat again. So, okay. If wife and husband, the 2 of them work, both of them are subject to tax on salary. So the minor dependent children only can deduct from one of them. Can be wife or can be husband. You cannot claim both. Okay. Huh? Okay. And then it depends on who is responsible for the children, who will look after the court decision, the court order. I mean, technically, and another one I want to take note. This is, I got a lot of question because now we are talking about, wife and husband. I'm talking about marriage certificate, but in some case, some families, husband and wife, you call it, but they not register, they not register for a marriage certificate, but they live together, they have children. I have heard that many many of, like this kind of family keep increasing from year to year. So maybe they're just trying to say that, maybe traditional marriage spend a lot of money, waste of money, some, they will just live together, maybe happier, maybe more freedoms. And if they want to divorce, they don't need to go to the courts. If you register for marriage certificate, if you want to divorce, then you have to go to the court to ask for the court decisions. After the court decide, and for divorce, okay, then you can divorce. If not, then you still husband and wife based on law, even you are not staying together. Yeah. Okay. When I was young, actually, I'm also thinking of okay, I want to have a family, I want to have a children, but I don't want to marry. Okay. But when I married, but I cannot do that. I have to. It's compulsory from families. Okay. Okay, we're talking about monthly taxable salary, we're talking about the rebate that we can claim as a deduction from our tax on salary calculations. Now we learn about the rate and the threshold of the salary you receive was subject to what percentage. So if your salary only up to 1.5 million Khmer Rial, you don't need to pay tax. It means your tax is 0 because your rate is 0. So your tax will be 0. If you earn more than 1.5 million Khmer Rial, up to 2 million Rial, in between that, you pay 5%. Okay, 5% tax. Okay, let's say you earn 1.8 million Khmer Rial. Okay, 1.8 million Khmer Rial, it's run between, in the 1.5 mil to 2 million Khmer Rial. So can you calculate the tax on salary? You know that if I earn only 1.8, I only pay tax at 5% rate. So how much tax you should pay? Okay, please calculate. Yeah, I want you to try. How much is it? 90,000. I got one answer. 90,000. 50. 15. Does anyone get a different answer? How much you get? Huh? 90s? 90? Repeat. Okay. 90. Okay. Because I think you talk to each other. How much you get? Can you calculate tax on salary? If you earn 1.8 million Khmer Rial. How much you get? 15,000. Same. Okay, we have two straight page. Yeah. Not straight page and okay. How much you get? 15,000 at 15 or 90? Okay. Yeah. 15. Why it's 15? Why is 19? How you get 90,000? Multiply, times 5%. And then you get 90,000. Yes, I mean, the answer is not correct. Because as you can see, you can get the exemption of 1.5 million salary you earn. So then you have to deduct the exemption portion. So then you can take 1.8 minus and then multiply by 5%. And then you get 1.5. So yeah, 15,000. Yeah. Okay. So the way that we calculate based on the salary band that you receive. Okay, so if you make more than 2 million Rial up to 8.5 million Khmer Rial, you pay tax at rate 10%. And if you make more than 8.5 million to 12.5, you will pay tax at rate 15%. More than 12.5 million Rial, you will pay 20%. So your salary will split and calculate based on the rate that you're supposed to pay based on each salary band. you know. So the top rate will be 20%. The lowest rate 0. Okay. Only if you are a resident employees, you know. So if now you know how to calculate tax answer, let's try this. If you make now not 1.8, but your salary is how much is the 2S? Uh, 10 million. Yeah, like 7, 0. Okay, please try. If your salary is 10 million real, how much is your tax on salary? Okay. If your salary is 1.8, you pay tax 15,000 Khmer Rial. $900,000. Okay. Very quick answer. Okay. 900,000. Okay. 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 What is your answer? Okay. One. Okay. 1,275,000,000. Okay. Okay. Other? Okay. This kind of question doesn't have in the textbook. Huh? 900,000. Okay. Okay. So you can see if it makes like 10 million real, that's salary will subject to 15%, you know, top rate is a 15%. But we are not going to take like a 10 million real and multiply by 15. We have to split based on this band. Okay. Okay. So when you make only up to here, you pay no tax. So, but now 10 million real somewhere here. Okay. So then you calculate, you know, this band 5%. So you take 2 million minus a 1.5. This is 500,000 and multiply by 5%. How much you get? 25,000. And this band, this is 6. And multiply by 10%, you will get 650,000. Okay, now 10 million minus 8.5. How much is it? 1.5 million real. So calculate 15%. How much you get? 200. Like this, right? Then you add. You will get 900,000. Yeah. We calculate based on this method. Okay. It seemed complicated with you, it seemed too complicated, or takes a lot of times. But in practice, some company, they will set a formula in an Excel spreadsheet. You just input the salary figure into the spreadsheet, it will calculate automatically. And some HR system, they also have that, you just input how much a salary employee earn each month, then in the system, they will calculate for you. But here, we try to calculate based on the formula that actually the tax law said. Everyone follow me? Okay, can I go move on? Yeah, I will give, this is sometimes, it takes time, it's not difficult, but it takes time. Then we will trying to do something new. Okay. Yeah, I think there's a problem here. This we call accumulated tax based on each band based on the salary scale we have. So as actually I already calculate for you, if you make only up to 1.5 million, you pay 0 tax. But if you make up to 2 million, how much salary you should pay? Okay. Can you see the mistake? Should be 25. That's not mine. Okay. In the textbook, do you have a lecture note, 25 or 35? Again, yesterday, they only put like, not, okay, a different, okay, but here. How about if you make up to 8.5 million, how much salary, accumulated salary tax that you need to pay? Can you calculate? If you make up to 8.5 million. 675. Yeah, because it's wrong. Yeah, you can look at your lecture note, is correct. But if that's accumulated, because if you calculate just, we calculate before, here we have, you can see that 655 up to 2 million, you pay 25,000. You add the two together, this is called accumulated. If you make 8.5 million, it means you pay tax 675,000 US dollar. Sorry, Khmer real. Okay. And if you make money up to 12.5 million real, your salary tax accumulate up to 175. Yeah, because it's it's wrong, but yes, luckily your textbook is correct. So but if you make more than 12.5, okay, we don't know. It depends on how much you make. So if you make up to, let's say, 20, how much is the tax on salary you're supposed to pay? So if you make up to 20 million, how much your salary tax? How much is it? To 775. Yeah. Okay. Everyone get the same? Yeah, you don't need to calculate, all of this, but you only need to calculate. You take 20 millions minus 12.5, and then multiply by 20%. And then you add, this is number 1, this is number 2. You add 1 plus 2, you will get. So How much is it? 20 minus 12.5 multiplied by 20%. How much is it? Huh? 1.5. No. So you add 1,500,000. Okay. Everyone get this answer? Yeah. So total you pay 2,750,000. So this is accumulated. If you make up to that. Okay, but still complicated, it's still complicated. Yeah. Maybe you can remember here, but sometimes you don't want to actually using this table all the times, We have another easy way to calculate tax on salary. Okay. So we just create a deduction threshold, or we call the difference of our tax pay. So we have a, because you have an accumulated here, here, here. Okay, you can add it on, but sometimes you don't want to actually calculate deducts and calculate like that and add it up. It's gonna take time. So you just do like 2 steps. You take the salary that you actually receive every month and multiply by the rate that you're supposed to pay on the top ranks of your salary that month. Okay, if it up to 5, you take a whole salary, multiply by 5%, and then deduct with this number. Ooh. Okay, if your salary up to 10% rate, you take a whole salary, multiply by 10% rate, and deduct with 175,000. Again, if up to 15%, you take a whole salary, multiply by 15%, and deduct 600,000. Okay, if you more than 12.5 million real, take a whole amount, times 20%, and deduct 1,225,000. Okay, let's try to do, try to calculate based on our example. 1.8. Okay, this one, our TOS is, sorry. Yeah, and another one, our 10 million salary, our TOS is 900. Okay, because we calculate previously, right, based on an example, if your salary is 1.8 million, so your tax is 15,000. So now if you're trying this formula, with shortcut formula, you take 1.8 million multiplied by 5% and deduct 750,000. You get 1,500. Okay. Our next one, 10 million multiplied by 15% and deducts 600,000. You get the same answer? Do you get the same answer? Yeah. So this is easier compared to previous one. Yeah. Yeah. Previous one is not difficult, but just take some times, But this one will take shorter. You just remember this 4 number. If 5%, 70,000 Khmer real, 10% salary, 175,000, 15%, 600,000. And if it is 20%, 1,225,000 deductions. Maybe you wonder, how do I get 75,000 from? Yeah. How do we get 75 deductions? So 75 deduction come from here, the exemption. Because we take a whole salary, multiplied by 5%, but actually 1.5 million is exempted, right? So 75 will come from here. 75,000 come from here. It's a deduction, right? Do you get 75,000? If you take 1.5 million multiplied by 5%, you will get 75. Yeah, this is we call a difference of our paid our tax of our tax. Okay, how we get this? And now you know. Okay, where do you know how to calculate? Yeah, 175. Deduct by 25,000. The actual related tax, right? Yeah. Cool. Okay. So to get here, you take here 2 million multiplied by 10% and deducts the accumulated tax liability that you're supposed to pay, 25,000. And then you get because from 2 million onward, you are going to pay 10%. But at the same time, you based on that range from 1.5 million to 2 millions, that is amount of tax that you're supposed to pay. But why we did that? Because the 2 million include 500,000 salary that is subject to 5% tax, and that's why we deduct it back. Okay, then you can calculate the next one. Thank you. Yeah. Next one. Easy, eh? Yeah. You take here, multiply by 15 and minus accumulated tax. And then you will get 600 deductions. We do the same, 12.5 multiplied by 20% and minus accumulated tax here. And then we will get everyone get. If you want to have here, you take, because 15, we know that 2 billion multiplied by 10 minus accumulated tax. If you want to calculate this step, you take 8.5 multiplied by 15% and minus here. So next one, you take 8.5 multiplied by 15%. Because up to this range, we are going to pay 15% tax on salary. And then we minus accumulated tax on salary, we calculate, based on that. So we minus 675. Okay. The last one will be 12.5 million multiplied by 20%, and then minus accumulated 1,275 million real. And then you will get here. You get all of this. Actually, here, 1.5 million multiplied by 5%, we're supposed to deduct 0 because this is 0 tax here. Yeah, but deduct 0, we will get the same amount. So 75,000. Okay. Okay, no, okay. Everyone get it? You get it? Yeah. So why they deduct? Because this is accumulated tax, because you take, the total salary multiplied by the rate that they're supposed to pay, but you have to deduct, the salary that is subject to a lower rate, and that's why you see a deduction from that. Yeah. Okay, that's how to calculate the deduction here. Can I move on or just? Okay, but I mean, in short, okay, now we know how to calculate it, but just for a number here, you have to remember, because during the final exam, salary calculation will come out maybe two or three, at least one salary calculation. If you don't remember all of these numbers, I mean, your calculation will take longer, or maybe you cannot calculate at all, because you have to use this shortcut way to calculate during the exam. You have to remember, if the salary is subject to 5%, that's 75,000 deductions. 10%, 175,000 deduction, 15, 600,000, and 21,225,000. I believe that you will remember by heart, just 4 number only. Okay. Okay, so then this is how to calculate tax on salary for resident employees. If you are a resident employee, you can calculate based on that formula. Okay, but okay, I have to show you one thing. Yeah. Because we calculate based on this. So how we calculate? In case if your salary is 20 million real. If you want an example, 20, and you have 3 children, plus wife, no job. Yeah, your salary is a lot. You say, hey, why don't need to go to work, just stay at home. Okay, do housework, looking at the kid, because we have 3 kids. Okay. Yeah. Okay, you make 20 million Khmer real a month. You have 3 children, minor dependent children, plus a wife doesn't have a job. Okay, not me, maybe somebody else. Okay, how much is his TOS? How much is it?
The exemptions from the total gross.
Sorry? Yeah, the rebate they have to deduct it from gross salary, deducted from 20 million real salary. Okay. 2,650,000. 55,000. You get the same? Did you get the answer? Yeah. Huh? Okay. Now just try then. I want the answer from you. Okay. Yeah. Okay, if he get his salary 20 million, so yeah, the top rate is 20%. But of course, he has 3 children plus wife doesn't have a job. So then we know that minor dependent children we can claim a deduction of 1,500,000 real. Okay, I forgot one thing. I don't know how you come up with this. How you come up with the answer? I don't know how, but I trying to get the answer from Darlene, right? Okay. How much is it? First of all, we have to take into account our gross salary, or we call monthly taxable salary. And then, but you know that gross salary is 20,000. And then we calculate the rebate or deductions. How much the deduction is? 600,000. Okay. Then we deduct 600. This is rebate. Okay. You know where I come from? Because 150,000 multiplied by 4. 4 is 3 children plus 1 wife. This is gross salary. Yeah. Oh, sorry, 20. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, then we can get what we call tax base. How much is it? No, tax base. Okay. So this is, you see, the word gross salary, rebate, and tax base. So yeah, gross salary is a salary that is subject to tax. But when we calculate tax on salary, we have to take into account all the rebates of that employees. You know, the rebate, as we already learned, is the minor dependent children and spouse without a job. So we deduct that, then we can get, we call tax base. The tax base is the amounts that we use to calculate, you know, tax on salary. So we multiply by 20%, and then we minus the deduction here we have, right? 1, 2, 2, 5. And then you will get this. You get that? Everyone get the same number, same answer, or different one? People at the back can see that? Yes. Okay. That is basics calculation. So then maybe Thursday we study about more complicated salary calculations. Yeah. Okay. So we deduct the rebate before calculate tax. Yeah. Okay. That's for a resident employee, but for a non-resident employee, they are paying tax at rate of 20%. If you are non-resident, you pay only tax as only one rate, it is 20%. But you pay only from the income from Cambodian source. Yeah. you pay a higher rate, but your salary source only Cambodia, not foreign. So in case if is that non-resident, like they receive like Cambodian source salary of 10,000, sorry, maybe 1,000, and foreign source of 8,000. So total salary is 90,000. But if he is a non-resident, if he is a non-resident, he only need to pay tax on Cambodian source income. So how much is his TOS? So take his taxable salary. How much is his taxable salary at this times? 1,000. And then multiply by 20%. So his TOS is 200. Easy. Compared to a, resident, you have to go with a different calculation, different rate. So this one is just straight away take his total tax Cambodian source income multiplied by 20%. So he can, for non-resident, cannot claim any deduction, even though he have children, minor, spouse doesn't have a job, so he cannot claim a deduction for non-resident. So the deduction of minor dependent children and the spouse doesn't have a job only apply for a resident. Okay, for non-resident, for us it's easy to calculate. Okay, another exemptions, but for residents, sorry, for non-resident, he may pay tax at rate 20%. We see higher rate, but if he fulfills certain condition, he may get the exemptions. He may get the exemption. So the condition is that he stay as a non-resident, and okay, it's almost time, and that's why I don't know what's going on. No, just maybe a few more minutes. Okay, if you are non-resident, okay, I just try to finish this point. So if you are non-resident, you can get exemptions only when you comply with this condition, which means you stay as a non-resident and maybe you negotiate with your employer, say, hey, don't pay my salary here in Cambodia. Of course, I come to work here in Cambodia, but don't pay the salary from your office, whatever, your related party, whatever, who is it in Cambodia? Pay me outside. I will come to work, for you. If you can negotiate that, then that non-resident is exempted from Cambodia, even though he get paid $1,000 from his employment activity in Cambodia. That's a condition. So, but if he come to work and then he want to get paid from a local company or local entities of that non-resident in Cambodia, then he have to pay tax 20%. So that is something that we call a tax planning happens, as you can see, law say subject to 20%, but if as an advisor to a foreign employee, hey, you can have a chance to get to exempt from tax in Cambodia if you follow this rule. Yeah, that's how tax advisor make money. Yeah, so tax advisor make money based on they know how to advise client and lower the tax liability. Okay. Yeah, this is a condition. Yeah, we learn about it. If to become a non-resident, you cannot fulfill one of the three conditions. Okay. Yeah, we will do a quiz after we complete like one subject. We do a quiz. A quiz, you will get the point, right? Yeah, you get the points. So please read it. But we don't do it now. We do after we complete a whole tax on salary subjects. Okay. I see that many people waiting outside. So see you again Thursday and Friday.